Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the late night show of Heroes of Justice. Which is not true, because it's not late night and it's not a show. It's just me messing up. Hi, hello, I'm Takashi, and with me here is trestwho in the background.
Hello everyone, he is Takashi.
And that one was trestwho. Give him a big applause.
Yay!
But yeah, hello and welcome back to more Heroes of Justice. Last time we left off with a red alert going on in the Titan server. In the most appropriate time because things were getting a little bit too normal, to say the least. There was no crossover whatsoever.
Which one of them is playing the harmonica that we're hearing right now?
Which one would I believe that would play the harmonica? I think it would be Ran. It would be Ran who plays the harmonica.
Because I would be perfectly accepting of any answer within these teams. Any of them.
I don't think that anyone other than him and maybe Sean. I would actually believe that his weapons are actually harmonicas in the meantime.
Versatile. Man, he's ready.
But yeah, let me see. Everything should be ready. Beast Boy. Oh yeah, Beast Boy. I followed the titles are here as well. Most Beast Boy and Cyborg would be able to play all the titles. And maybe Coriander just to fight Raven. But yeah, let's get back to Red Alert.
Raven might have been the least likely answer.
That's why he is the most likely. Because you would never expect it.
Oh, sneaky.
Jump around everything guitar. Yeah, I 100% agree with the guitar for John. Cyborg, talk to me. What's going on? Miss Boy now wearing his purple and black jumpsuit? Yes, as he walks inside the Titan Tower control room. And now, Combat and Ruby and Juniper following alongside him, and putting on their mess. Oh yeah, they don't have their suits yet, but they do have some domino mess, which works wonders for Superman, but only for Superman.
Actually, it's kind of the opposite for Superman. He puts on a costume whenever he's Clark Kent. Because he's adding something, the glasses.
I mean, thinking of his kind. Wait, no, the glasses are not real, right? I mean, they are not perspective.
No, I believe that's the case. He's actually got supervision anyway. So, yeah, when he's Superman, he's being a lot more authentic to himself. In a way that some in the world might find overwhelming. Which is why it's actually Clark that's the costume.
Yeah? He isn't demoing himself while he's Clark. Maybe he would actually use a real prescription glass just to make sure that no one thinks that, oh, let me try, it's a fake one, right? No, it's way strong, actually.
That Clark is not fake. He grew up that way. throughout most of his life in Smallville. But Superman's just being a more authentic to himself.
Yeah.
It's fully himself with much less restraint.
You know what? Let me bring up the confirmation. There you go. No real though.
That looks fake. So that was added, right? That never really happened in the show.
No, that never happened. But this actually did.
You can also pull up a scene where Goku's in a car. That was also pretty rare, and it was only because Chi-Chi demanded it.
Also, no, I'm pretty sure I remember him wearing normal glasses at some point.
Those are not his, by the way. It's Roshi's.
Yeah, and he wore his son's glasses as well at one point.
He got those to demonstrate his new transmission powers.
Yeah. Well, back to the domino mess.
Mm-hmm.
It was similar to the one on the Jump Watchtower, only more smaller and more heavily focused on Jump City. I mean, obviously they don't really care about the other cities. You know, every city has their own superheroes. It's not like they don't care, they are focusing on this one.
I don't think every city, but if they don't have a superhero, they may not have a supervillain either. It's probably more likely to be a case in smaller communities in that world.
Yeah, imagine being a superhero in a city where there is no superhero.
Or both is true to a lesser degree, that they just have normal cops and robbers.
Yeah. The detailed map of the city itself was displayed on a large central monitor, a big blemish over the targeted area. Then a disturbance going on over Jam Studios. Then a disturbance in the force, young Luke.
I was thinking that too. I thought of that immediately in the beginning of that sentence.
Cyborg announced, continuing to type away at his computer. What's the situation? Someone broke in a few minutes ago and had taken the studio had hostage in his own office. But yeah, now I kind of starting to remember him a little bit more. Now that we are talking about television. Control freak. He can go into the TVs, right?
Probably. And as far as motives concerned, if you remember, that was announced in the story too. Some show he liked was cancelled, and that triggered him.
And yeah, India is correcting me that Underground wears glasses. Yeah, I do remember that he was wearing glasses. I don't know if he actually needs it, but he wears it. Motive? Why not? Getting with Mr. Easter, and others had already told them that should justice come under attack, each of them would be allowed to join them. While the lack of Last Wires would be a hindrance, it wasn't as low which could adapt. Besides, it would be an excellent opportunity to test the new upgrade. It would be a design for a weapon. I mean, even without the Dust Fires, Mr. Lister is a very good rapier. You can use it as that. And I'm pretty sure she doesn't even need Lost to use her CS. Her normal CS, just to fly around.
Probably still poke and slash with it, and parry other blows.
Yeah? I mean, I'm pretty sure that she is not enough to slash a bullet that's coming straight at her. So
Maybe, and that technology certainly existed in her world.
Especially because I don't know if but this time she has time dilation, which is slowing down time for herself.
Hmm. Well, that would explain it even more then.
It takes a lot of water though, so it has to be used in small bursts. Time outside, and Joe began to spout on getting. Funny, political. I mean, it kind of is political, if you think about that. And kind of because of money as well, because that's why the television took down the show. Because they had money problems, probably.
I think there could be all kinds of crazy reasons out there.
Yeah.
I heard of good shows that got canceled because the toys didn't sell enough. Stuff like that. I heard of shows that got canceled because someone on the set personally didn't like someone else on the set.
Hey, Dragon Ball was cancelled for a long while in Hungary because Indian kids were jumping on the clouds from the skyscrapers.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I become an Nimbus and fly. But then they realized that, oh wait, it's not the show's fault, it's the mother's and the father's fault that they didn't teach the kid that it's not real. Yeah, Cyborg shook his hand. No. That was the motive.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to just assume Jean is the one that asked that last question without specifying.
Yeah, because he started that one.
Yeah.
Or everyone can ask it at the same time. Cyborg paused for a moment. The next
Or
one.
pick a random guess which one else might have asked. I could see any of them. Even the other Titans may have asked that question.
It doesn't really matter who asked
Yeah.
that one. Apparently, the night you guys arrived. The head of the job studios canceled the critically acclaimed Wonder Twins show. It was satisfying before a satisfying ending could be made, due to low toy sales. Why do I feel like something is very critically intertwined with Ruby and Rooster Teeth? Because they were cancelled.
Actually, here's the additional irony. The Teen Titans was canceled for that reason.
Oh. So most of the shows were cancelled.
For that reason, actually.
Yeah. Also stickers to offense to that. I won't pause. I guess I'm more likely. Finally, after a moment, he extended her hand in confusion. Seriously? Kidnapped the guy for cancelling a show? Yup, Cyborg replied, clearly anticipating. Well, Yang paused, outside of that being a complete overreaction, I have been being called in. I'm sure the police could handle it. No. You would think that.
I wonder if after this case, some of the people here may be curious to check out the show that got canceled to see if they think it's really good or bad too.
I mean, the Wonder Twins or Teen Titans or Ruby? Which one?
The Wonder Twins, I'm talking about within the story. They just learned that was the motive of this criminal. So is the show so great that they might agree with this motive after they see how wonderful it is?
It's an overreaction,
yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah, I'm just thinking they might be curious after now. Wonder Twins was part of this, the old Super Friends, by the way. It was the older version of a Justice League.
Yep. Apparently they had a pet monkey.
They had polymorphing powers, where the lady can transport into something animalistic, I think, and the other guy always transforms into something useless. Like a bucket of water.
What are you saying? I'm a Minecrafter. I take offense to saying American water is useless. Just
All
kidding,
right,
by the
then
way.
you explain that placeholder. What would be useless? Because that would be a solid example of what he can transform into, and he has complained about it before, I think.
I'm pretty sure always depends on the situation.
Sure. While the sister turns into a pterodactyl, she might grab her brother and fill a bucket of water and splash it on someone. There you go.
See? Yeah, useful. You would think that, but no. The boys apparently can't get to them. Why? That's why yes. I think it's a question going as to who was responsible. Let me pull up this immediately.
Oh my goodness. I saw the end of that next paragraph and it's interesting.
That is a job studio. It's having gone. Hamburg as well by making up our second feed from our job studio. By Stormtrooper. Ah, it makes sense why they can get to them. Luckily, nobody's getting injured, but still.
The premise here sounds similar to The Last Action Hero, where a kid who is a strong fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies receives a magic ticket and able to enter into a film, and he does enter one in particular. Some character called Slater, but it went the other way around too, where he went back to his normal reality and brought the fictional character along with him, which means they could do that with any potential film.
Yeah. But yeah, that's his power as well. He can pull things out of the TV and go inside.
So,
Representation of situation when T-Titans were seen by T-Titans Go. The thing that I haven't watched and I heard only bad things about.
conceptually speaking, you can contemplate how dangerous that power can get. As much as he's written off as a joke character primarily because of his own modality, he could pull out King Kong or Godzilla onto the city, and then they really got a kaiju storming about.
But on the other side, it could be useful as well if you could just grab the enemy and put it inside the television. And they will not be able to get out.
Or you can draw useful allies from other films, like, say, Gandalf.
Yeah. Giant and the Huntsman teams stand abundantly, and the job force development exchange fire. In a large group of white armored soldiers, the helmets completely encasing their hands. Instead of bullets, the stormtroopers were firing handballs of wood. The body. Then their shots hitting their mark, but staying close enough to force them into cover. But the poison weapon did nothing to the futuristic armor. Which is actually just a stupid thing in the movies, because in reality the stormtroopers were actually pretty well trained. They could hit any target from super far away, and they were clone of one person, so who is kind of a perfectionist.
I've seen a gaffy stick also shatter their armor, but to be fair, it was wielded by Boba Fett.
Yeah? But still, even if they are just from the movies, even while they are the worst kind of stormtroopers, they are still standing in the way.
Yeah.
And no matter how bad aim they have, one hit can kill you.
They have hit a few times.
What?
They have hit a few times. If you make no effort to cover, you probably will get shot.
Yeah? On a side note, if a marksmanship is in full swing, as no one has been hurt yet. Cyborg announced with relief, while the rest of the Titans all sighed. This is catastrophic, isn't it? Boy means boy, yes. Boy means, yeah. It's Cyborg doesn't. Yep.
It's a beastly boy.
He's even like thinking this. Cyborg then pulled up another tab to the my monitor. This one to display the tweet surfing. This is definitely has been written when Twitter was not renamed. Yes. And we say guys tweet. No. Even though it's text. The Twitter feed to an overweight elderly man with the pimples marking his face. He was unshaven, with his hair reaching his passing neck and looping over his chest, and his outfit appeared to be a mishmash of various movies and TV shows. I mean, in a few days I would be able to just cosplay as him if I just don't shave and my hair. But thank you, no thank you.
I have a comment after your next sentence here.
Oh my god. Yang immediately packed the man and got selfie. Don't say the word pack, please.
So, because it was Yang that was pointed out in that sentence, I guess maybe it means no one else thought of that?
I mean, if we think about that, Yang is surrounded by Sean, Nora, and Ruby. So
Just imagine Ruby blinking at the screen like, that man reminds me of something, but I just can't put my finger on it. What is it? It's at the tip of my tongue.
yeah, literally, Ruby can learn out such as much about weapons as this guy can about his TV shows. So, yay! He said, actually at his tweet. They were written in all caps, and the man continued to rant and rave about how canceling the modern tweet was a travesty. Then the studio had was really incompetent, and they had no a good show from complete trash. His last tweets were maintaining that he was only released the he was. He got written everybody in contact to bring it back for a sixth and final season, not to count the planned kid-oriented spin-off. This is literally it doesn't grow.
Yep. He's the most likely character to complain about that concept.
Yeah.
And it'd be so meta for him to do that if within the show. And I could imagine that in Teen Titans Go, because they got a little more weird. So, yeah, Control Freak should complain about the fact that their own show got downgraded.
It would be funny if the Stormtroopers armor turned into plastic instead of the fictional alloy. Earlier said that. What if he doesn't even have any superpowers? He only has a group of mobs who are all cosplaying.
You know,
And that's why no one dies, because those laser shows are just that. Just laser shows.
Here's
Those are
something
not
interesting
real
to think
weapons.
about. In considering the psychology of the man, what if he was a geek enough to know the stormtroopers would keep missing but hold the police back? As he doesn't seriously want to hurt them.
Yeah. Yeah, he literally only wants his show to come back. And no supplements are there as to pull the time.
That does bring another question too, I'm thinking. You could pull Gandalf out of the film, but what are you going to say to convince him to join your side? Same thing with the stormtroopers. How did he convince them to hold off the police like that?
I mean, if he pulls out the stormtroopers, he might be able to probably say that I'm the one who ordered you.
Yeah, he's going to have to approach them in a way that they would recognize as an authority figure, because that's the way they're trained.
I mean, that's all.
Blindly obedient.
Literally, all he has to do is pull them out from the what is it called, the workstation, when they are being made.
Okay.
When they are not added to a master yet.
You're not talking about clone troopers, right? That is
Yep.
different from stormtroopers. Clone troopers would have hit, actually, and be way more competent in their job.
Wait. But the clone troopers are some troopers too, aren't they?
No, they are different. Stormtroopers are just regular people that's been trained in that profession, while the clones was grown for only one thing. But they're pretty darn good at that one thing. That
Oh.
program got canceled because they were too expensive.
Okay, I guess I learned something new. I thought that every one of them were just normal clones.
No,
To
no,
begin
that
with.
that that program was finished after the Clone Wars. I
Yeah.
think Camino even got attacked after that.
And I said I didn't watch anything after that. So
Fair enough.
the last thing I saw that yeah, the Stormtroopers are clones. And I accepted that as truth.
I guess that the original Star Wars doesn't make it clear that their stormtroopers aren't cloned. So yeah, it's only something you learn later on.
Yeah. Have you played this guy before? So that's watching on this one. What can we expect? You can accept something like this.
Oh yeah. You pulled that up quick. Did you just have that ready?
Yeah, that's what I was making early.
Okay.
A few times, even last one. Mostly just sits at home and manages his YouTube channel. But whenever something happens that sets him off, he goes balancing and overreacts. He never really hurt anyone, so he mostly just gets thrown into jail for a month or two. That was a promotion. I mean, it will make... So he actually makes a lot of money from YouTube, then. I will assume because he doesn't really have any other job other than hacking, probably.
I actually know someone who had got arrested for a crime with something to do with cyber stuff. And what's most likely to happen if this guy is ever released back into the public, it's under the condition and probation that he avoids using the technology like computers and such to make sure he doesn't utilize his original weapons again.
I mean, he really put in jail for something else, and for just getting overreacting. He is not because of his YouTube channel, probably.
It's still
No.
a serious crime to try to rob a bank, even if you don't shoot someone.
Yeah?
He's kind of doing something similar here. They are being threatened. And police are being threatened too. That kind of ups the ante as well.
I mean, at least he's not telling them that, oh, okay, I'm gonna kill him. No. He's just saying that, okay, I'm gonna release him when you give me my demand.
Yeah.
And it is not on Nuremberg demand at all. Not like some of the rumors and terrorists are doing, like, okay, give me a tank. I mean, he doesn't really have need for that. He could just pull one out from the TV. How does he have those stormtroopers? Are they from a movie or something? They don't. He hasn't watched the movies before. But he knows that the stormtroopers were millions of the Empire or in Star Wars. Also, we have to compare some for Ruby.
me wonder though, if Control Freak ever made his own show somehow, then could he go into that reality and basically just create anything he wants? Like a better version of his remote according to his fictional show that he invented on a low budget?
They could. We have the Australian military. We can probably call them almost closely to the stormtroopers.
Wow. Okay.
But these are just normal humans and robots. These are not souls. I mean,
You know,
as we established, these are not souls either.
the coloration, I just kind of wonder if that really was inspired by stormtroopers.
It probably was because they... No! I literally said in the show when they appeared that, oh, they actually look like stormtroopers, but they can actually hit the enemy. But the problem was that the weapons are not that strong and didn't really work that much against the game.
Okay.
It worked much less than Ruby or anyone else who was made for that. They were supposed to be fictional, but as she was a medium-sized bipedal worker materialized in Tina, she was reminded that those were not. And Ruby has those as well. I mean, it is different. And there you go, that's Vision Light.
Yet another film that has a similar concept to this was called Remote Control, I think, where instead of going into televisions or movies, the remote was able to control actual reality. Like, say, if you press the pause, time freezes.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was overused until a bit more. And he messed up his own life.
Yep.
That's fine then, there is no hype for the character. I mean, they can do some significant damage. They can, but I'm assuming that Control Freak is a Star Wars geek. And usually, Star Wars geeks dislike hyper geeks, and vice versa. Because it's a very much different universe.
Or Star Trek.
Oh yeah, don't even make sound like into that. Because imagine that these were not. So, let me get some normal. Sure, why not? But the big major are taking remote a few years back, we are replied. With it, he can do anything he wants. Send the person in the TV show, being your favorite character to life, and much, much more. Wait! Why started hidden? Watching the footage with complete confusion. You are telling me that this guy made a reality altering remote capable of bending the universe to his whim, and he used it to lash out against a studio executives? Why hadn't he used it to do anything that actually matters?
You know, you could just bring out food or cash from a television show. Or
Yeah?
movies.
But would it be real?
I don't know how about that. Like how long it lasts while in normal reality, or how tangible it is.
We never asked that question.
If he's got a little more unscrupulous morals, though, then why not just draw cash from a television show? You could pause it and just keep on drawing cash from the same moment.
Yeah. Honestly, we have no idea. We have asked Samuel asked for the inside. All we know is that he hasn't presented his thing, and whenever Namos is too far away from him, it's other start. But whenever he decides to be a silver villain again, he makes other. Ah, jeez. You made your card. Okay, so what can we expect once we get there? Who knows? Probably something more related, and that's of it too. What if he pulls out people from Remnant? From Ruby series?
Sure, if there is a television show of them in this reality. And even more convincingly, there could be a television show of the Justice League. They actually exist in this reality, but can you imagine there's a fictional version of them too within the world that was inspired by the real thing?
I mean, I can see one thing. The news showed them appearing when they came to Earth.
Yeah, they're on television. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, he doesn't have to pull them out, he can just pull some game out of the TV. They were definitely there.
If he does, then they'll behave like normal Grimm.
Yeah.
Which could have rules that even Control Freak may not be aware of.
And even Ruby is not aware of it either. At this moment, they shouldn't be. Then, so that you run down around him, Control Freak, when he puts his mind into it, it's very dangerous. Even caution, never abandoned. Cowboy's eye then flashed again, and the information was downloaded into his brain. And then he pulled up a holographic interface in front of him. Right, meaning that the Control Freak is relatively harmless. Yes. Imagine, no, not imagine. Him being a cave. And just using it to stop time. Because he would be able to do it. I think all the creators said no. He saw them and the interface disappeared. An elevator door that opened on the far side of the room. And without needing further instruction, I walked past inside. The elevator descended. The wheels guiding against the keyboard, and it did. And the car finally stopped. It appeared to a large garage made into the island. The walls and the ceiling were not covered by metal railings and walkways, but solid stone, while the ground was paved cement. Multiple driveways shot out like a star, each one ending with a separate vehicle. They saw a plane, a car, Superman, submersible, even a black motorbike. So, is this a sea car? Coming at, and they stopped in front of the car itself. It appeared to be made with a large one, almost heavily modified. Its body was pure white, with light blue trim, just like Cyborg. Secretly, an asterisk marked the Atlantic orbit, which was only made itself more apparent, and the doors firmly opened. For a moment, they were all worried that there wouldn't be enough room. But it seems it was like a TARDIS. But the words were unlimited, and they saw the car sitting and being carefully arranged to allow for everyone to sit inside. Let me pull on the sea car.
From the way you described it, maybe it should actually be called a T-van.
I mean, it's more like this.
No,
This is what I remember.
Then why are they calling it a van? You know what?
Uh,
That actually looks like something out of Inspector Gadget.
because it has multiple different iterations, I think they are meaning this one.
Now that's called the tea bucket, um, or something similar to
Or
that.
even
Anyway,
better, this one from the actual toys.
that vehicle probably not only has navigation, but probably could drive itself. I bet you. He makes something that sophisticated.
You know what? I have a better car for this. It's almost the same. There you go.
Jeez, I thought of that earlier too. Except, what does that say? On the side of the van?
Who's seat?
Hmm.
I can zoom in for you. There you go.
Okay, I get it. Well, especially if you're moving around in the sewers all the time.
Yeah. For some reason, all superheroes, even if they are super or not super, they loved using this car. This one. Yep, it's my baby. 7% that means tool. 100,000 horsepower plasma turbo and turbine engine. The turbo booster, Howard jet, and some of the line electronic surveillance systems. Come on, do it myself. That one got nothing on this.
Batmobile's got style, but I can't say that this one lacks it completely either. Man, it wouldn't surprise me if that kind of car could have a holographic overlay and disguise itself as other kind of vehicles.
It probably can. I would actually say that it might be able to. Nice! I mean, I can imagine Lota saying the same thing for his own moment. They're nodding appreciatively, as she and Lota stepped themselves in. It was amazing time, but they were able to make it work. After this, mind tapping me into making my mic Bumblebee? Sure. Cyborg answered and sat down in the driver's seat, putting himself into the car system. A moment later, the blood magic rolled to life, and the garage door opened. As soon as it did, with sunlight beaming inside, the car rotated forward, and raced down the bridge into Jump City.
I wonder if anyone else could drive the vehicle, but not as well. Because he's hooked into the systems, he's able to interact with it a lot more directly. But just in case he's mind controlled or knocked unconscious, can anyone else take the wheel?
They can promise King the wheel, but they can't use the navigation and the computer system inside. So I assume they wouldn't be able to use the methods and anything that's hooked up.
Theory is they can, but not as efficiently or swiftly.
Yeah. Okay, fight scene. Sure. They were fighting before they saw it. At first, it was the only explosion from the fire, along with the loud rain from the fire. And they got closer, the sound of combat grew louder and louder, while the tea car itself was beginning to vibrate. All the civilians were watching the exchange from the safety of the nearby building. I wouldn't call that safe. A few were even filming the matter. and then managed to stay so close. Well, killing the scene of that my first officer working down the perimeter. From what they could tell, none of the bystanders reported any injuries. I've been looking at the Twitter feed. While stating as she messed with the scene's colorographic interface, urging everyone within a few blocks of Johnson News to relocate, so the area should be clear of any civilians. And I'm glad you, Leo, are agreeing with me that, and with us, that the Southern Span is not a difference from the t-shirt. It's heavily modified. The fact that none of the titles say anything about Transformers and the mentioning of Bumblebee. I mean, do they watch Transformers at all? They might heard about them, but I don't know if they actually watch it.
That thought crossed my mind too when she said Bumblebee.
I mean, it's a yellow bike. I don't know if it can transport or not.
Well, with Cyborg's help, there's a chance.
Yeah. That's good to hear. So we noticed that she jumped around in Crescent Road, and none of them is outside of Freak himself or here. He and others were confident in going all out. So we hope that the armor facing rounds, the means of offering Retro's pistol round, would be enough to punch through the armor. If not, he would always aim for the gaps. The 2 minutes came to mind. That even when they said that the top-super armor is unpenetrable.
That's what the police could do too, is try to aim at the gaps. They may be smaller targets, so yes, they're harder to hit, but at least they can get through.
How do I do this so I don't get ages? And there we go. This should be good enough.
Just a flesh wound.
Just a flesh wound. There's always things in the armor. I mean, Cyborg, Beast Boy, and probably Sapphire would love to Transformers for sure. I mean, yeah, if they have it. We don't even know if they have it in their series. In their universe.
If they do, they might have My Little Pony too, because it's made by the same company. Among other things.
Just for that.
Perfect.
You guys all good? So let's check his armor. Rest of the team nodded and said, or flashed a thumbs up, and showed on back. Before you say anything else, the teacher around and accorded sharply, as I was squealing along the pavement, and moved the fight into view. One of the perimeter walkers noticed their appearance, and turned its blocking head to fire on them, only for Cyborg to activate the seeker's onboard defense system. The response extended outward from the side of the vehicle to fire several rockets. The munitions leaving behind the tail of 8 doors, impeding each of the walkers, exploded violently. The legs, now shattered, were unable to support the walker's weight, and the vehicle immediately collapsed, crushing a few stormtroopers unlucky enough to be caught underneath. And now, we certainly know that they have watched Star Wars.
In order to authenticate that, just before they got crushed by the walker, they made a Wilhelm scream.
No! I don't know. Yeah, that's what. But yeah, we have confirmation that Cyborg definitely watched the series of Star Wars because he knows how to deal with these. There's more talking about Star Wars and lots more media from our world, so yeah, but we don't know what they don't have. It's a different universe after all.
If they have Halloween in the Titans world and never celebrated it, just curious if any of their costumes ever alluded to something like Star Wars.
Hmm. Maybe. That's all I have to say. Maybe. Titans, go! Now for that. I don't think it's into a stop. The side door's opening. Now we can prepare to fill out.
Everyone else besides the Titans, stop!
Yeah. None of them immediate focus on the fire onto the superheroes, allowing the police to return fire accurately. But the heroes were afraid. The fire flying overhead with their eyes glowing green, beyond throwing green starbursts down into additional to fly into the side. A few times she shifted into forming massive beam of energy, hitting a smoking hole in the armor.
I wonder what's going through the stormtrooper's mind at this point.
What a strange group of Jedi.
Maybe something like that, yeah?
Again?
Or maybe they could say unidentified hostile alien force, and they'd be kind of correct here.
I mean, for them, everyone is an alien.
Pretty much, yeah. And they actually have some racism about that.
And this, here comes this, as well to, like, we don't ask questions. We kill who we are ordered to kill.
Well, if you don't ask questions, you don't learn lessons.
I mean, they literally didn't.
Yeah.
Well, careful to avoid the heat of the master mode, not intangible as an impaired internal organ. There's something done, and causing the tolerance to collapse. Good thing there is no shadow and knuckles among the enemy. Yeah. I mean, knuckles might be able to be reasonable. Shadow not so much.
What Cyborg does next reminds me of Mega Man. Go on.
Cyborg shoots his arm into Blood McKellen and fires shot after shot into the armor chest. I mean, that was literally modeled after Mega Man's Blood McKellen.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually called Blood McKellen as well. So.
Oh yeah.
Telling each picture soldier flying back. He noted that more than their feet, the field became distorted and blinked out of existence.
Again, I'm wondering what the stormtroopers think of that. If they've seen their own comrades vanish upon defeat, but they're not aware that they're fictional, they might be thinking that the enemy's causing this.
Yeah? Giant! Get your man and anything out of here! We got this! Cyborg ordered and the police officer nodded. You got it. He had it over the fire. He had long since decided motivating towards letting the superior take control of the situation. And had the rest of the GPD. Everyone, fall back to perimeter. Yes, sir. The seven officers obeyed, and they did. but he's firing their rifles to cover their coverage. It is before day 2, the 2. A quick shot of the hill told him that there was no one else around, as he nodded to himself. Nuclear bomb activated. Even now! I mean, that's almost the same thing. If you are using cable servers. Timer ordered half demon. Even's eyes flashed from a pepper, and then threw a purple orb into a seemingly empty space, only for the air to distort, and Even Humi and Jennifer fighting some of the two something fast. They were summoning several at once, turning others into larger groups, while no one busy looking down at his surviving workers, by giving in their legs with the hammer. So they were forced here by Raven. Hammer could design his current of some events. I think it was actually literally mentioned in the series that he did.
She's invented a new spell, the Revenantian Bomb.
I mean, it's almost the same as what Josephine did. Just pull some creatures out of a different universe. You know, Joe shouted as he knocked on the blast of fire. I have to say, I saw this movie after Flash recommended it to me. Kinda geeking out right now. Same here, dude. This boy, a wide smile on his face, exclaimed as he turned into a gay rhino. I shot into a group of soldiers, sending several bullets flying. The sound effect come on.
I'm wondering about the height of the rhino, and how resistant it would be to blaster fire of stormtroopers. Also, how nimble they would be. I don't think a rhino would dodge that easily, and it's a large target. So you're pretty much relying on the hide to defend yourself, or you're relying on offense. Strike them first before they have a chance to fire at you.
I'm pretty sure it's the second option right here.
The armor, or the you mean the offense?
Yeah, the
Okay.
offense. I just thought we were thinking about. He shoots it into his knee to dodge over oncoming fire. This is that as well. But he only used it for offense and using different form to dodge. Also then turned into Gorilla and provided more into submission. Focus you two getting out later. Ava shouted as she fired attacking the board and the enemy. A few times shoot.
Maybe they should transform into an Ewok and really traumatize them.
I mean, it depends on which part of the series they are pulled out from. They might not even know what an Ewok is.
That's true.
A few times to shoot her, only for no barrier to block any shots. Ravens often picked them up and then threw them away. One of the Subzumas screaming in a lucrative yet annoying way. That was the Wilhelm scream!
That was. Yes.
Bismarck escaped and stepped into an weapon and knocked several away, rushing more on the foot. You know what?
Man, Control Freak's Twitter feed is just continuing to climb, probably, as he's likely still filming this. There you go. Yeah, we needed that.
I mean, it's not that far off from this.
Imagining that from Stormtroopers, though, that would be even more funny.
Yeah? Bismarck exclaimed as he turned into an elephant and knocked several away, crushing more on their foot. The motor was beginning to die down, and the odds heavily into the superhero's favor. Yet the stormtrooper refused to surrender. Until Superman moved to shoot twice, only for Robin to snipe him in the head. He chambered on the ground into Gangster's road, and the stormtrooper disappeared from reality, then turned to White and nodded. White nodded back at her leader, and already made a list of 10 to vial containing pressurized freezing gas. Why are you saying pressurized freezing gas? It's called... It has its own name.
Trying to clarify, this is not dust.
No, this is liquid nitrogen. It's not pressurized freezing gas. Let's breathe deeply and should forward on her lips. It's very exciting and exposed on the suit, escalating them. Before the two brothers even had a chance to disappear, Vice was already into the next, boosting herself with the glyphs. Her glyphs before finally slamming her rapier down. In a sense, a rapier is probably one of the most useful weapons against the stormtrooper, because of the very precise stabbing motions.
In more modern D&D, it's one of the weapons you can actually use your dexterity modifier instead of strength to use for attack and damage. Those are called finesse weapons.
I really did comment, man, MFP used the rhythm skill a lot, and I remember at least once in the movie. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that thing was a meme before the word was invented.
I mean, no, yes, maybe. But everyone knew it, everyone knows it. And still reference it right now.
I suspect the word meme grew along with the internet around that time.
Yeah, it's like that. Leo Jenkins and Record. Those are the three that everyone knows. No matter how old you are. I have scheduled the piece gas, and with considerable saying, Vice acting the massive block of ice, and pulled the remaining soldiers completely solid. So she still used her aura to decompress the gas. And I am wrong by saying liquid nitrogen because it is in gas form. So it is actually pressurized nitrogen, but still. It could have probably other chemicals as well.
Relying on a substance for a quote-unquote superpower kind of reminds me of Scarecrow a little bit, but she is more versatile than that. He doesn't have aura.
I was about to say that the Scarecrow in the meantime in the just watches his TV, because obviously he has a TV, and just smiling under his mask.
Maybe, but I'm not sure if this scene is inspiring enough fear for him. It's kind of inspiring some entertainment and amusement instead.
No, it's not inspire fear, but it might inspire a different kind of weapon that does almost the same. Instead of physical fighting. Right? Very neatly wiped away a sheet of sweat from overall. Although not as effective or easy to use as her old eyes, the yes word. I figured she would have to work on reducing the concentration. She had to use it in the future. The surviving to balancing act to bypass such a volatile substance, which is no more responsive to her aura than any other material. Before she could eliminate her further, we also turned out from behind her. She turned sharply to see a trooper. He had missed fall and disappeared onto the ground, but they can only tell pistol. Miss one, the photo sun, and why not? I found the name. It's annoying. I imagine kind of like this. You missed one.
You were done with that paragraph you highlighted, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks, nice shit. But it's actually gold as a crowd. They were in the field now, so whether she liked it or not, the use of the hashtag made and it had not find the code names. But essentially to keeping the identity safe. That doesn't mean she had to like it though.
Well, I like it. Nightshade, that is. That's a cool name.
You know what's from them? She didn't make her own name yet. They were literally thinking about that, oh yeah. And I literally said that you're gonna be ice cream if you don't choose.
Yep, she said the last response of that was, I'll come up with it later, and that we're still on that point.
Yeah?
She is at risk of being called an ice queen right now.
I think we are clear when we got out for what happened to Park Taylor. The hero was seeing how she was correct. He was at the front entrance. So the studio propel. And we are walking inside. I find that they don't use each other's real names by habit. Especially they haven't been used to code names to code names. I mean they are not used to, but they are professionals. They are kind of learning to be professionals. And they were learning to be professionals to begin with. So this name change shouldn't be that difficult for them. They literally use a lot of code names for the weapons attacks, for the combat attacks before, so...
I understand his concern, though. I mean, put it this way. At the beginning of each year, do you have to pause and think, oh yeah, it's now 2025, 26, or whatever? Because you're so used to writing the previous year?
No, not at the end of the year, every day.
Oh, okay.
So sorry, what's first? Then yes, I should have a motorcycle. There is a synchronization not far from here. He has one by leading the way. From now, I can definitely the second defeat. Find the man, and end it quickly. Good. We are done. I should better scan the area. I can direct anyone else here, but I think someone managed to build this location from me, so I can't find him.
The hostages are probably in some fictional environment. Or they really are out of range for her.
Wasn't there only one hostage?
No one for sure. And the last time they claimed that he was holed up in his office.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what her range is for their telepathy.
I don't know either. Great. Even Lone actually came across the building in question. Lone fumbled in the door, only to see that it was locked. He entered, and after taking a step back, kicked the door in and knocked it off its hinges. Others piled in. The was raised and he scanned the room. Yeah, I don't know what to say. This is just a normal television station. No, it shouldn't mean problem to clean down. Even if it was fully locked down with wardrobes and everything.
Actually, I suddenly had a question. Now, this goes back to Megan. During their existence, could she read the minds of the stormtroopers? Or are they immune to her powers because they're fictional?
I don't know because my god was not in the show I remember.
Hmm.
So I don't know anything else about my god that what they are telling me here.
Well, I know something about the green and white Martians. Doesn't tell me much, but if she's anything like Jean, then she's able to do all kinds of little psychic powers like phase through walls and shape changing.
Yeah?
I mean, look at Beast Boy. He was able to transform because of her blood, so it naturally follows that she could do that too.
I mean
Probably probably more versatile though, because she probably can transform into other humanoids too.
for all we know, inside their head would be only static, probably.
Hmm. Possibly, yeah.
Also, now we have the answer to the question of how he made them actually follow his orders. He didn't. The last orders were, don't let anyone inside this place. And then he pulled them out. Because
Maybe you
this
could
one
see
definitely meant.
Maybe we could see why I asked though. If she can scan the minds of the fictional characters too, and they happen to be close by, then she'd be able to detect them. If not, then they have a chance to be surprised by the next attack.
Yeah? But yeah, it would be too easy.
Hmm.
There was no one inside, yet they couldn't let themselves relax. They followed the stairs up front. A few flights before coming across the door, marked security. Someone climbed into the door security systems, and into the bypass tab, finding it to be child's play. He then opened the door to reveal a standard security room. There was a filled CCTV monitors displayed on the wall. He turned over a chair and spilled coffee mug was all that was left by the previous occupant. And in the background, you could hear the news theme playing in constant loop. I mean, this song definitely sounds like it. Looks like someone left in a hurry. Yeah, nothing. She looked around the room for any sign of trouble. He could see none, so she had to assume the kind of thing merely had him escorted off sight. And here's our answer. Yes, Megan has the exact same abilities as Joan, but she's young and inexperienced. There you go.
Oh, that's like Wonder Girl versus Wonder Woman then.
Yeah. Okay. And here we go. Having the been attending disappearing on the monitors. Replaced with feeds from around the studio lot. The set of feeds appear to be normal, located on a patrol of soldiers, notwithstanding. But the east side of the lot themselves was something else entirely.
It was the Warner Brothers, and wandering around the Warner Studio lot.
Oh, follow me. Okay. Ooh. They said some more.
You passed a few scene breaks too, I briefly noticed.
What the hell? Joel asked. I said looked at the inside of the over studio building. He expected to see a harmless studio lot, which had gated. Not a verifiable jungle with a road running to it. Immediately one thing came to mind. immediately.
I think it's Jurassic Park.
No.
Oh. If only you could play that music.
No, we can't. I'm 100% sure we can't.
That would be wonderful.
Watch had a massive electrical fence along it. And he was able to see a giant creature walking behind. Yeah, and this is definitely Jurassic Park. Because of the massive electrical fence.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, me. Doing that another method. Also seeing that they too were changed entirely. He saw that our villages, ancient ruins, they set up entire spaceships, and much more. In his mind, was seeing how the rest of the Titans was fairly forward on their objective, it improves in turn. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Find him yet? To me yet. As she looked north of the few troopers, walking near their position. While anticipating this, no position near the door, in case it came too close. And just then, Cyborg answered and pointed towards the monitor. With shoulder unharmed to the hand, that was chair. They couldn't hear what he was saying to the person of skin, who was what had mean for your thing. On his expression was a mixture of anticipating, annoyed, and pleading. I mean, it could be control thing, but it could also be swarmed with someone else from a different scene.
I heard that the film Terminator was almost not greenlit because they thought this concept of a robot can't be scary. So what ended up happening was an actor dressed up in that kind of outfit. It was the same actor that played the android in the second Aliens movie. Don't know his name. Actually went up to the studio executive at gunpoint and threatened him, only to show that it was sort of a prank, but also to make a point about how scary it can be. And it worked. They actually greenlit the film after that.
Huh. And sometimes it works.
Yeah, what Control Freak is doing right now can work sometimes. A little dangerous to try. Because you're kind of walking that legal line there.
No, it's all. You always have no other legal line once you enter with the gun.
It probably was a fake gun and prop and all that, but yeah.
No matter if it's fake or not fake, you don't think someone is already prison status. On the expression was a mixture of anticipating, annoyed, and pleading, and slowly the scene is zooming out and revealing who the other side of the room is. It's not fake.
Okay.
Which would actually mean that Joker is inside this building at the moment. He was found with the with the director. Why is that? They asked. Looks like an office lot in office in Los HA? No. What is Los HA?
It's just the name of the building. The other buildings probably have TA, XA, and all that kind of stuff. It's a mark to distinguish the lot separate from each other.
For some reason, I thought that it was a nickname for Los Angeles. Because that's
Looks like he's an office lot. Ha!
Ha!
Just
No,
thought something funny.
I have the perfect answer for that.
It's a common though for studios to be numbered.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
It's pretty much so. But your letter, pulling out the studio map from the nearby tower. The independent one, you can put a route from the location toward the captive, and he'll make the transport means. The guest who could appear to take them to many of the laws themselves, and he will figure out precisely what lies within them. Alright? We certainly can. This is the fastest route we can take. In the meantime, Yang is like, are you sure about that? Why can't we just pay to all of the walls and go straight?
Well, some of those lots don't have walls. They have a jungle and desert and such. Careful, Ganon might be one of them. He came from a desert culture.
We have to go to a few sets, but this way we can avoid more heavily armed patrols and get there as soon as possible. Sounds good to me. This might allow us to by setting his arms. The heroes prepare to move out, only for monitors to settle into setting. Alarms and was soon applied. Installed and the TV stand and the TV screen, connecting themselves from whatever remains itself. When the screen is finally turned back, they were greeted by the smirking face of the face. And the heroes are scout. Greetings, Sergeant! Heroes announced. I knew why you would come to try and stop me, but you are too late. I control things have taken control of the entirety of Jump Studios, and now it's meant to my whim. And then he showed, and he actually meant the whole studio.
You know what? After the next comment, maybe something occurred to me. Go ahead. Read that first.
Certainly a devoting guy, isn't he? Maybe he was a theater kid. They mumbled under a mask, and they nodded in agreement.
Okay, stop right there. Think of this from Control Speak's standpoint. They, besides being on the television show briefly when they landed in the world, should be unfamiliar to him. So I could actually imagine him looking across them, like, wait, who are these girls? And
Yeah.
There's two guys there.
Even though Frank, Minimal shouted, having gone used to the village ethics, you won't get away with this. Oh, believe me, I think I will. But I am not heartless. Just believe now, and I assure you that you will remain unharmed. All I want is for the Wonder Trees to be brought back for one final season, to even add to the story. Is that too much to ask? Also, from what I heard, I didn't go into actually check it out, but from all I know, season 9 or volume 9 is not the end of Ruby. But the rules that they shut down before they could stop, before they could finish it. For one final season.
It happens to a lot of shows. And, you know, the opposite can happen too, where a show never stops and they suffer some seasonal rot.
But now, with media actually moved up the right to me, and we still don't know if they are relaunching from season 1 or trying to go to season 10. But they said that they want to finish the series.
Well, Samurai Jack was ended for quite a long time. Well, I think over a decade went by before the final season did occur. Once the studio finally did give in to the demand of the creator. But and I can see why. The next season that came up was a lot more mature than the previous one. That was probably the source of their complaint before, is it wasn't meant for their ratings.
I mean, Samurai Jack was never too happy-go-lucky show to me, even with
It
all the
got more,
antics.
but it was more grim dark on the last season.
Yeah. It's too much to take a guy hostage for, can be argued. Going the villain to bring his attention towards her. Look, I get it. You love the show and you are agreeing to see it get cancelled for so many reasons. I would be against too. But there's no reason to kidnap a guy and think you want an entire studio.
Dick was finally responding to them.
Yeah, he didn't even look at them yet. Oh, new recruits, I see. But of his mind. He appeared to be excited, only for a moment to manage to finally register, and he found. You think I haven't tried other options? I sent letters, emails, phone calls, and my phone was to get the petition. None of the executives even pretended to respond nor care. Wait. If the people already know how counterfeit is such a counterfeit, then why are they pretending to not care? They know how he is.
You kind of have a good point. Unless it's not clear who's sending the letters. But that doesn't sound likely either.
It is not clear. Didn't he just tweet about the whole thing? I'm pretty sure everything is well documented on his YouTube channel and Twitter. I can even imagine that he, before he went inside, he pulled up his phone and like, I'm going into the studio right now. Tweet. The first I guess was getting reply from the receptionist about how they were talking about the tweet, the more new direction. And the Flash animated kids show, the more new direction. It's a stupid and disgrace to our loyalty. Yeah, I'm talking about it doesn't go.
Yep.
Although Fink continues to rant about the injustice of it all, calling human to side, their desperation. It was clear that this guy wasn't going to listen to reason just yet, but that didn't mean she couldn't try. She moved to speak again, only for Vice to beat her to the punch. I don't really care about your reasons, but they can. All things going to think in mid-run. There is no way to throw my ex like this. Either you let him go and turn himself in, or we make you. Why?
The weirdest response to that would be, "Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I'll do that," and then just do it immediately. Like, God, that's what she's expecting from her response here.
Also, no, this is not how you talk to a delusional person like this. Because we know all the way he's delusional. Ruby's approach was actually right. That, yeah, I get you. But you still have a choice to come out of this.
Well, you think both responses is in character for Ruby and Weiss, right?
Yeah, they are. It's funny how she's like, yeah, there's no way to throw my life like this. She's saying like she didn't run away from home to become a huntress.
From her eyes, I guess she has less patience with immaturity. In her perception.
Huh. I see you are the arrogant one of the bunch. There's nothing else. Only Vice to get it open. And know that's ridiculous and how awkward the description was. It doesn't matter. You think you can stop me? Go to think? Archer under the Titans? They have tried many times before and they always won. Dude, this was interrupted. Let me know what it is. You aren't our arch enemy. Unlike other commands, visible communication seems to catch on something of God. He almost seemed upset, but he keeps showing through his head and continues. Well then, how can you hope to solve the detailed second narrative? You are the hero, man. That was it. If you wasn't upset before, you're not was now. And with someone's call, continued. Dad! Nope. Turn 5! Dude, you have to make this awkward. Oh, come on, what do you mean I'm not? How can I not make your arch at me? You've been for so many times now, and I can't even count. Yeah, we get that, but now for more than other than a sheepish smile, you haven't really risen up to that level. I'm sorry. Okay, name more millions who matter than me, and they start naming all of the millions that appeared.
Read on, that's exactly what they do.
Without missing a beat, even bring down to this level. There's no tangled like fire, but blood, Mama King. You only fought him once! There's nothing I can find out. Wait. We are getting the crossover that you want.
Close, but he was called Puppet Master.
Being turned into puppets for me and having your mother's hijacked leaves an impression on you. Anyway, Carlton, calling on the face-to-face fall. You look at other titans, seeing them running along with him as well. And all the while, that's when one of them just who the titans has faced up against previously. You would appear how that found being turned into puppets started terrifying. Ruby, meanwhile, continue to look at the now sad kind of thing, and the pang of pity goes to her. Condory said a special button, and was replaced by one of anger, and it's not. You know what? I don't care about being your stupid arch enemy, Maka. What do you think of that? What
if it turns out Ruby follows him on social media after this, just out of pity, and maybe eventually out of friendship?
If Ruby became friends with him, he could actually become a Naruto party. Not a friend, a Naruto party in this. Maybe even have both.
Potential best case scenario, yeah. And besides that, even as a villain, he doesn't seem that sinister. So that puts him closer to the heroic line than some others that was listed off earlier would be.
We can answer the ghost of question that was never answered. That they literally asked him multiple times, why isn't he having the good side, the good cause? Because he has no reason to. Love, you are friends. He thinks that he is your arch enemy. But what if he had a friend? Would he have them? For me, yes.
At the moment, I see Ruby's the strongest chance to eventually cause that.
Yeah. But yeah, what did it turn into? And ask himself, the sense of the situation having loads his past. Don't act like confused. Could only show. Vice irritated and reported less of the entire conversation. Finally shouted, can we get on with this? Yeah, get on with it! And I got nothing, all looked at her, then each other. We were suddenly stepping back to face each other. Let's see, Vice had on power with creating some new him. The element of surprise, Looping doesn't know anything about his gifts. Yet, he decided to provoke him when he had a sausage in his possession. Yeah, Vice was never a superhero material. He could quickly dispatch multiple enemies, but she was never good with people. suddenly moves down them once again. On the side, and shaking his head. Never mind, John. I'm outside your building. Just come out and find me already. With the final declaration, the monitor shut off completely. For a moment, I was just sat at the monitor, but looking at each other. No one knew what to say before Nora finally closed her arms, and began shaking her hand and signing with admonishment. Admonishment? Is that how you write your word?
Oh yeah. Similar to the word punishment or something.
A strong warning or correction intended to improve behavior. Yeah, I have definitely heard the word, I just never said it written down, that's why I was confused. I think you hurt his feeling, you don't say. Let me see how far are we. Yeah, there's still a little bit more. So, even though that might be a shorter thing, I'm gonna go stop right here, because my voice is totally going away. But, because of that, we are actually continuing this in 2 days. The same 4 days in 2 days. And we are finishing this.
I could see that the person in chat thought this is one of the more favorite arcs because this thing was awfully fun.
I mean, I think you literally said that this is one of your favorite arcs.
Yeah, you did. And I'm starting to learn why. This guy's fun.
He might not be an arch enemy, but he is definitely a good one. A fun to watch enemy.
Entertaining enemy.
Entertaining, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he could. I mean, I was about to say that he could be in the entertainment business, but then I realized that he has a YouTube, so he is in the entertainment business.
That's like having an arch enemy and comic book guy from The Simpsons. It's just funny to listen to them argue with the nerd.
I mean, if he wanted to, he could actually pull out all the Simpsons characters.
He could, yeah. If it exists in their world, that's the thing.
Yeah, we don't know that. But, yeah, I'm gonna end it right here. There's at least 30 minutes left of at least 30 minutes of what is left, so
And then some with the comments.
yeah.
We had a lot of that today, I noticed that.
I mean, that's what makes it fun. At least for me. I hope you are not against me that we are talking too much off topic. But I like to do that.
I just thought it was fun. It's part of where we do this.
But yeah, we are ending right here. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you in 2 days at the same time. Then we are finishing this chapter. Bye bye.
Bye bye.